Good afternoon, everyone. This is Captain Ando Ones for the Dark Star Strategist. I'm here to talk today a little bit about one of the events, one that you'll see very commonly, one that you kind of hope for, because, in my honest opinion, this is the best single daily event we ever run into. So, that is the Alliance Faction Hunt. So, what you have is you have all three factions, and you have to go hunt hostiles for each of the factions according to who it is. So federations, if you hadn't figured it out by now, they seem to be mostly hating on the Klingons. So to get credit for the Federation hunt, you have to go out and hunt Klingon ships. And the rewards are based on the level you destroy. And your ladder tier on the right, see how mine currently goes to 840? The height of that ladder, the amount of points you'll have to get will be based on the level you are. So mine is at 840, so I have to kill quite a few ships to get max tier. But this is something you'll want to do, because as you can see here, for each of these, you'll get three things that are extremely critical. Well, actually, four things that are very critical to you. You get ultra recruit tokens. That gets you some of the best officers in the game. You'll get officer XP, which is used to level those officers. You'll get Federation credits, which help you either build faction ships or promote officers. And you get uncommon refined gas, at least for the Federation, which helps you improve your ships and your base. And one way you can kind of cheat the system is if you have an ability to tier up one of your ships, you can do that. You'll get to go quite a ways in your ladder. In my case, if I were to take the Enterprise up a tier, it would take me almost up by half. But usually that's not necessarily the easiest way. It's just a quick way you can kind of cheat through the system if you want to. So now you'll have all three events here. My recommendation is to absolutely go in and do all three. Now, you may be in the situation you say, well, won't it hurt my faction reputation? To an extent it will, but there's ways to mitigate that. And that's based on whatever faction you're trying to improve reputation on. So in my case, I am most interested right now, since I have reached the faction locks for the Federation and Klingon, and you can see I'm pretty much riding the line for both factions right now. I am trying to raise up my Romulans. I want to get them to that 10 million so I have them faction locked. So how do I kill Romulan ships and not lose too much? Well, it just depends on what type of faction hostiles you hit. Now, for Federation and for the Romulan hunts, where you get to hunt both Klingons and Federation specifically, so not Romulans, I can go and hit traitors. I'm trying to bring up the Romulan reputation. They take down a lot of the faction they're assigned to, but since I'm already faction locked, that's not really a concern. And I also gain a lot of faction rep for the faction I'm trying to go for, so in this case, Romulans. So when you hit the factions that are not aligned to what you're trying to gain rep on, go ahead and hit their traders. The higher you hit, the better reputation you get. That's my advice to you there. Whereas when I go to do the Romulan, or basically kill the Romulan faction hostiles for the Federation, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to farm outside my base. I have all these little 29 to 31 explorers. As you can see, the amount of rep drain is almost infinitesimally tiny compared to what you typically see. I apologize for the pop-ups. It's very tiny compared to what you see compared to the Federation traders and the Klingon traders. So the amount of offset you're going to get is pretty significant based on what you're trying to do. Now, how high you hit, obviously, will determine your longevity. I have my bird of prey, my Burrell, warping out to one of the highest veteran trader systems. So it's going to go through quite a few of those. But as you can see, I've already made one trip up there. It wasn't enough to climb the entire ladder. I got through about a quarter of it before I had to repair and head out again. So you're going to have to burn some repairs for this event. But when you look at the rewards for each of the three factions, it's huge, especially as you level further. Unfortunately, when you're lower level, these ladders won't be quite as high, so you won't have to worry quite as much. And sometimes you can use the faction rewards to do other events that are going on. Like, for instance, right now they have the research event and the station event. But in some circumstance, you might have the officer events where you need to recruit officers. All of these tickets, all these ultimate recruit tokens that you get there, that'll be able to recruit a lot of the officers you need for that event. So these things, they have synergy with each other. You can definitely gain a lot of ground on both events and gain a lot of the rewards from both events. So I highly recommend completing this as much as possible. It's going to be hard for you small folks that just maybe got a Kumari, maybe have it to tier 4 or 5 or something like that, and you have to go out and kill a bunch of stuff. Now, make sure you bring red crews. So obviously you want to, if I would recommend going explorers for these events or traders, because you can use Chen on top of either with either Cadet Ukura as captain and Cadet McCoy as your other bridge officer, or if you have Pike, you can bring Pike and Moreau with Chen, and most of the hostiles out there won't do a lot of damage, but they will do some, so you will burn out eventually. You just want to make sure you increase your longevity out in combat as much as you can, so you can kill as many reds as you can, try to get done as quickly as you can, and not have to make as many trips back. Now, just be aware as you're doing this, if you're anywhere in the negative reputation, you're going to have to contend with some hostiles in the territories that you are hostile to. So you'll have to either, I would take that in consideration in which area you choose. Some areas, if you're fairly developed in your ships already, you may be able to just take the hunters on top of the regular reds that are in there, and that'll just count towards your total. They'll do more damage, but if your ship is significantly overpowered for the zone, you'll be able to do a bunch of these. So you can go ahead, if you're not very developed, you can go ahead in these lower hostile systems. Yes, you'll get a lot less points for the 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. You could probably go all the way up to the 25 systems or the 26 and 27 systems. You can kill a lot of those things very quickly. You'll be able to make longer trips, but you'll be able to kill more in one sitting, so you'll be able to work your way through the event more quickly. Whereas if you're doing like I'm doing, where you're out in the 38, 39 to 40 systems, you're going to get more points per hit, but they're going to do a lot more damage. I have enough speed ups. I can send the Burrell back numerous times to finish all these reds off, and that's something you just want to be thinking about as you go through these. Do I want to go through the low systems, or do I want to do the high systems? If your strips aren't very strong, I would go to those low systems and just burn as many as you can. Try to get as many as you can in one trip, and then once you die, send your repair as quickly as you can. Send yourself out again, so you can go out again and finish more tiers. The tiers are very worth it. You'll go in there, you'll get those rewards. A lot of those faction credits could be used towards buying a new ship. So if you're a Romulan friendly, for instance, and you only have a Kamari, maybe you're a 28 or a 26, you want to work towards a Legionary or a Centurion. Each one of those, just doing all the faction credits for the day right now and the rewards are also scale with your level as well. So most of you won't see quite these level of rewards. But if I'm going after those Romulan ships, I am getting, first of all, see, this is Klingon, but I'm getting 150 in the first tier. I am getting 180 in the second tier, so now we're at 330. I am getting 280 in the third, so that's another 610. and then I'm getting another 560. That puts us at 1170. So if I was just to do this event and I wanted to get that ship, I would be able to go in there with 1170 credits, and I could buy basically 5 of the chests. That's 5 blueprints per day. That's a lot faster than you'd get under normal means. Once you have these ships, you'll be able to burn through faster. I mean, like here, you can see out here I have my Burrell. These are some of the most difficult ships you'll find out there. They're almost 5 million strength. And I've got a 1.8 million bird of prey. And I'm going to go ahead and pop this off for you. You can see with the Pike and Moreau into land, the damage you take out here is relatively small compared to the power differential. Officers play a huge role in this. So if you're not familiar with crewing and officers, you have my other videos that kind of explain the thought process here. So now I go ahead, and you can see that was level 40, almost 5 million power, very little damage. I can keep going. I can keep getting the rep. And look, rewards. All these credits. Not too worried about the rep. I'll make it up when once I get everything faction locked. So I can keep working it and get as much credit as possible, because all that officer experience and things you'll want to use later. You're trying to promote these guys. Easiest way to do it is to take them with a lot of rep here. Like for Uhura, that's one of my goals here. I want to get her to level 30, so she's maxed strength. That'll be her maximum officer potential, other than which I can do through research at that point. And that'll make my ship stronger, make me be able to do a lot more of these in a single sitting. So I'm going to go ahead and just keep hitting. And just go ahead and hit till you're dead. You'll fill your cargo bay. That's fine. You'll explode, but since these are long trips already, just go ahead and do what we call Ubering back. You have one of these guys kill you, you start repairs again, and then you go out again. It's simple as that. Great event. If you're not out there enjoying it to its fullest potential, I don't know why you're playing this game, to be honest, because it's helpful in so many different aspects and so many elements of this game. It's my hands down favorite of all the events you can do. So my recommendation, take full advantage of it while you can, get all the rewards you can, finish it up. If you feel you can also use it for your reputation building for whatever faction you're trying to build on later, especially once you're done. You can use it to farm blueprints, because as you go through this, all these item rewards, they'll occasionally give you ship blueprints that you'll need for later. Doesn't happen all the time, but all these rewards you're getting, they all stack. So absolutely take advantage of this event. Get as much as you can done. If you find yourself struggling to do it, try some lower areas. If that still doesn't work, you just got a lot more shipbuilding to do, quite candidly. Nobody in this game who can't do their event tiers is probably at a level they should be ops-wise, because that means they're resource constrained all the time and they just can't do everything. And this is a huge part of the development. All those uncommon gas, those uncommon ore, those uncommon crystal, that can really accelerate your ability to build up your ships and get them to the power levels they need to be to kill more of these things. Because ultimately your goal is to kill as many as you can, finish your tiers. Once your tiers are finished, you move on to the next faction and get the next faction done. So keep working your way through it. Just hunt them down. Murder, death, kill, whatever you want to do while you're out here. And then move on to the next thing. Because usually after these events, they'll have a lot of events centered around upgrading your characters. This event's rewards make that as cost efficient as possible. Oh, and by the way, while you're out here doing this, you'll be knocking out your dailies. So there, I just finished up my Klingon Federation champion hostels, and now that's done. So that's more rewards. So there's tons and tons of reasons to do this event to your fullest potential. You just got to get out here, kill indiscriminately for the most part. Well, not necessarily indiscriminately. If you're trying to save on rep, you don't want to hit the traders. If you're trying to get more rep, you go ahead and hit the traders. But that's the whole goal of this thing. Just get as many rewards from it as you can. Finish up as much as you can. Once you blow up, repair, send it back, get some more. And 24-hour periods, finishing is not that difficult. Some people, depending on the area you're farming, you could make all your entire ladder in a single trip. I'm choosing not to because I want to get the maximum rep rewards while I'm doing it, and I want to get the Romulans repped up quicker so I can get them to the 10 million. But if that's not your goal, go ahead and bring the difficulty down a notch. It'll be a grind. It'll be a longer grind. But in the end of the day, you'll still get it done. You'll get all the rewards, and it'll cost you less in the process. So it's really not a question of whether you pursue it and get this event done. It's a question of how. If you're not getting this event done, you're missing out on so much of what you can benefit from during this event. I don't know why. It doesn't make sense to me. I understand newer players may get frustrated with the repair cost and and maybe they're wondering, okay, their rep isn't very high. How do I keep it from making everything enemy to me? Yeah, just do that. Just focus on explorers if you don't want to bring the rep down too much, and focus on your traders on the things you do want to bring up. That would be my the quick and painless advice on how to get there. Because those rewards, you can see they'll keep stacking as you go along. And it doesn't take that long to get done. When you're killing, especially when you're killing the high level stuff like me, you'll be able to get a lot of the ladder knocked out in the process. And now I've only basically got one, maybe two trips back. Or if I wanted to finish, I could go to lower area and maybe move back here. Totally up to you how you do it. You don't have to share any area with a lot of players. If it's really crowded there, maybe move to another area. But I do recommend explorers, no matter what type of ship you're using, because Chen usually she mitigates a lot of that energy weapon damage better, and that's really all that explorers and traders do is enemy damage. Usually I just Uber, but I accidentally went to warp. But that's really all there is to it. Any questions, please feel free to reach out to me in Discord or in game chat. We'll address whatever issues people are running into trying to complete these events. But my first advice is do it. If you don't know how, ask the questions. We'll try to help you out as much as you can. But that's all I have for this video. This is Captain N1 for Dark Star Strategist. Live long and prosper. Signing off.